Hey guys, Gillie here, and I just wanted to do a quick epilogue follow-up to Home. Just a couple of minutes here just talking about the game because when I finished the game I just really didn't understand what had happened. I was expecting kind of a different ending, so I was a little bit shocked when, it just ended with me leaving the house after finding Rachel. And then, it just told me that I needed to run, which made sense based on how I played the game. So basically, I started playing Home thinking it was kind of a just like a typical horror game where people would jump out and be like "roar," and people would maybe try to kill me, or I was being hunted, or there was crazy monsters or something like that, pretty typical. But after I played the game, I realized that it's actually more of like a psychologically effective horror game, where it just kind of gets in your brain and really just kind of creeps you out. And the cool thing about the ending that I got is that if you think about how I played the game, as I started, I thought, that had been attacked or other people had been attacked and I had somehow survived. But then as I went through and I found things, places, I personally started thinking that I had been involved, after finding the license in the water tower, the credit card, and the fact that my wife might have had an affair with Norman, and Norman, was no longer alive, and the fact that I had the weird, at night I would do the weird walking around that was talked about a little bit in the game, and Rachel, my wife, obviously thought it was a little bit difficult to deal with in some manner. So, I'm not, I realized throughout the game as I played it that I wasn't as innocent I felt as I appeared. So I made the choices that implied that, I had been involved in some manner because, I kept the weapons. I said that I did find Rachel in the basement. I was the one going back to the factory. All those choices, I could have picked different options, and then it would have led to a completely different ending. You can have endings where you're just having a psychotic break. You don't even find your wife, you were never married, or you can go outside and the police can be there. There's just a whole bunch of different options, and there's a lot of stuff that fit my theory, and that's why the game led me to the ending that I chose, where I need to run from the police, which, when you think about it, is pretty crazy. Like, that's how I was feeling, and that's the ending that I got. And then there's a couple of other things, though, that don't fit my theory, like who was the other guy on the videotape? There was two people, if one of them was me. Also, why was I in that other house? Whose house was that? We never really knew. Also, what was in the lockbox? I never opened that, so I never found out. And then that time I heard the wind behind me, maybe there was somebody actually following me at that point. I think I could have turned around and maybe seen like a glimpse of somebody, possibly. And, there's just a lot of stuff like that. I'm not sure, what the actual truth is, and maybe that's just the beauty of the game, is trying to figure out what you believe the truth to be. So that's why, again, I really felt I was involved. I was guilty in some manner, maybe not of all the murders, but of a couple. So that's why I got that ending where I left the house and I better just start running because the police are going to be there soon. So pretty interesting. Again, I really liked that game, and it obviously stuck with me a little bit because I've been thinking about it for a while, just about, the ending and what happened and why. And so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this little summary and maybe just small discussion of Home to maybe just better understand what the game is and why it ended like that for me. So I'll see you next time.